Okay, I guess this is part two because I ran out of time. And as I was saying, I was talking about the cost of gender reassignment surgery and breast augmentation, and it's not cheap. In minimum, you're looking at $45,000 for SRS surgery. It's going to be painful. I've got enough friends that have gone through it. So dispel the thought in your mind that that it is something simple that you'll be able to go through. It's not simple. It is life-changing. But if you are transsexual and you truly want to be wholly female, it's something you're going to have to go through. Breast augmentation, the minimum costs around $5,000, and around the top mark is around $10,000 or more, depending on the surgeon you go to. Living out, out in the open, you're going to get looks. You're going to feel uneasy. And it's something you just need to resign yourself to. Because people, the average person is not used to dealing with someone who's transgendered. As in a transsexual. They're not used to it. Get used to men thinking that all transsexuals are like these supermodels that are like porn stars and stuff like that. Because most people assume it. That's not the case. There's only a few of us that have the looks that could manage it. And most of us, what you want is, you want to transition. You're trying to become a woman. So don't try to be anything more than who you are. If you've got fair looks, then you've got fair looks. There are some transsexuals out there that maybe shouldn't have transitioned, just because nature wasn't all that kind to them in their appearance. And I know that sounds really mean, but this is just being honest. Sometimes nature just didn't mean for it. Even though it screwed up inside your head, it left no real way for science to fix the body in some meaningful way. So I'm just stating it. You're going to run into people that are going to humor you. Get used to it. You're going to run into people that will misgender you. And it will hurt. Get used to it. This is what it means to be a transsexual woman. And once you have the surgery, you're all woman. But, by law, one thing they won't be able to change is your birth certificate. Legally, they cannot change it. So, it will always list male. As far as I know, in most states. Unless they've changed the laws recently. I know more than a few that have gone through the problems. Alright. What else do you need to get used to? Get used to people calling you tranny. Get used to people calling you she-male. Or he-she. Or any number of other slurs. If you're a transsexual, then there's no reason to hide who you are. There are some communities where you will need to be discreet because that's just the way it is. Some places are dangerous. If you live in the South, there are definite dangers towards transitioning. If you live in isolated rural areas, there are dangers, and just get used to this. So if you really are serious about transitioning and you're living in an area like that, then you need to be thinking about moving to another area. And at least then you can start living as a woman, and then you can go through the whole process. Your friends will treat you differently. Those that you come out to, some of them will be able to accept it. There will be many of them that cannot accept it. And you need to resign yourself to this. You're going to lose friends. And you can't become angry about it. You're making this choice. Some people cannot accept. Crap. Some people cannot accept what you're going to go through. And no matter how much you talk to them and no matter what you say, they will not accept it. So just resign yourself that you're probably going to lose a lot of people. And then be happy with those that remain. You will be surprised at who will stay with you and who won't. And I don't know how well I'm doing about looking at the camera. I'm trying to. I'm looking at the screen more than I'm looking at the camera, so I apologize. There will be friends that really surprise you and will be very accepting. There will be some that become offended by your very presence. You cannot become angry at them for the way they're going to be. They cannot change who they are. They cannot change their opinions like the drop of a hat. I mean, transitioning is about change. So just, accept it. What else is there? Get used to getting weird looks from people when you go into restaurants or stores. It's going to happen. There's going to be a few places that you'll be able to go to where you shouldn't get too many bad looks, but you will get them. When you go to gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender bars, some people will not be accepting of you. Some people, you'll be surprised how many gay men will become really offended by your very presence. I don't quite understand it, because it's not like we're hitting on them. But some of us are, but that's not the point. Some of them will become really offended. Now, what's surprising for me was most of the lesbians that I knew in my life were really accepting of me. So I don't know if this is just something that happened with me, or it may be just a trend. So be nicer to the ladies, because the likelihood of them being nice to you might go up. Bisexual people, that's really the wild card, because you don't know exactly how they're going to act or how they're going to react to you. Some will react fine. Some will want to go out on a date with you. Whatever. No, that wasn't meant to be mean. That was just meant to be just whatever it is. Some will become mean. Some will become violent. As a transsexual woman, you need to be aware of the violence. A transsexual woman was beaten severely in Baltimore, and I spoke about this in one of my past videos. And she's afraid to go out, period, now. She's afraid of being around people, and you need to get used to it, and you need to accept that there's people out there that will want to hurt you. So what I can say is, if you know self-protection, well, I mean, like karate or taekwondo or eskrima or some other martial art, then start practicing because you might need to use it. If you don't, and it's legal in certain areas, then get yourself a carry conceal permit and a gun. Because most people will back the hell away the moment you pull out a gun of some kind. I'm not advocating guns and stuff like that, but I'm simply saying it's an option. There are other options that are less lethal, like stun guns, tasers, pepper mace, and then they've got some pepper mace that has like tear gas and shit like that in it. And those are your options. Be prepared. Don't be paranoid of what could happen, but be prepared for the worst, and then be surprised when the best happens. I don't want to see anyone get hurt out there, and I'd feel really bad if I didn't say anything. So this has been a really long video, but it started out kind of rough, but this is better because I feel a little bit better and a little bit calmer. Those of you that feel up to it, these videos are not a bad way to talk to people or to come out. I'm already out, I mean, to most of the people in my life, but this is a way for you to get your thoughts out there and maybe help someone else who's going through this. I know I look really white, and hopefully by the time I figure out how I want to do the makeup for Halloween, I'll look even whiter and scarier and stuff. Well, this is getting towards the end, and I'd rather be able to close with actually ending or something than whatever. So I think I'm just gonna put on maybe a song or something to end this with. I found a really pretty one. And where is it? Where is it? I know. I seem like a ditz. And to a degree I am. But I'm not that much of a ditz. So why did I stay? Remember, I so when you left me gone away. I'll be so cold. Why did you stay? I guess that's enough. Remember, I so when you left me.